Is this Francis from the 718?
Hi.
Francis, how you doing?
This is Galata. Hi, Jason.
You emailed me today. You had some issues. You wrote me a pretty long email. I said to you, you should call into the show. You said it's kind of an emergency. I need to call in today. I got you on the show.
Oh, I'm very happy you did. I'm very happy to be here.
Okay, so you're calling from the 718, which means you're from Brooklyn?
Yes, I am. Born and raised.
Where in Brooklyn?
I grew up in Park Slope. I'm living out in Kensington now.
Oh, okay, very good. I grew up in Bay Ridge, and I'm living in Brentwood, which is, Brentwood is like very west part of Brooklyn. Francis, tell us, what is your question? What is your issue? Let's see if the Twist community can help you.
Well, I'm working on my first startup. It's called MacSupport.com. And I'm working with two partners from the Templeton Group who they do enterprise clients, and they would get calls, they do Mac support for enterprise clients, and they would get calls every day for home users. And so they couldn't help them. It just wasn't what they did. And these are people who either couldn't be helped by Apple or couldn't get to a store. And so we saw a need, and so we decided to set up a call center. And, we are been in business a couple of weeks now.
Okay, so you got MacSupport.com, which is a fantastic fantastic domain name, rather. And
yes.
People need help. This is a decent business because you know people need help. And what is the problem? Are you having a hard time getting customers? Are you having a hard time?
That's exactly the problem.
We
have good people. We have a very knowledgeable tech. We are want to eventually push towards 24/7. Be able to support incidents all the time. But right now, we're seeing a little bit more friction than we'd like. Actually getting the customers.
Okay, so your issue is that you're having a hard time getting customers. I'm going to guess the reason is because paying $30 is a barrier, right?
Yes.
And I'm looking at your website now, pretty well designed. It looks somewhat professional. Could look a little more professional, I'll be honest. I think the logo could use a little bit of work. What I don't see on your logo or on the site is 100% money-back guarantee. You must have had this idea. You must have had this discussion. Why didn't you include it? Why didn't you have a money-back guarantee?
Oh, we do. I guess it's not plastered everywhere. It is mentioned during our sign-up process, but it is it is something I think that needs to be said everywhere. We actually call it our goodwill guarantee, where if it's a really small, quick issue, it's at our tech's discretion to not charge you for that incident.
Okay.
Or rather, not debit you. But
so I'm assuming your website is how you get most of your clients, and
yes.
The issue you have right now is one that is solved with a business process called A/B testing or multivariate testing. I want you to do a couple of Google searches for multivariate testing for A/B testing.
I'm aware of
you are?
Of them.
Okay, so you need to A/B test this page and figure out exactly how you can get more people to put their credit card in. There is a whole landing page business where people have designed to optimize to get people to do that. Another possibility is to actually go to where people are having problems, and that would be a place like Twitter.
We're on Twitter. We're Mac First on Twitter.
Cool.
We're also on Facebook and LinkedIn.
Right. So
we've been doing free support Fridays, where we search out people having problems on Friday on Twitter and try to help them out.
And how is that going? Because I would think that would be an amazing thing to do, the free support Fridays. I'd love that idea. Is that working?
It is not. It's very slow. Every single person we help, every single customer we've had has been absolutely ecstatic. It's been. Every single person we end up talking with is great. It's just not that many people.
Okay, so here's an idea for you. You have a small number of very loyal people, it seems, who are very in love with your service, correct?
Correct.
Okay, you need to catalyze them to be your marketers then. And they have Twitter accounts and Facebook accounts. So what you should probably do is, if they have a great experience, you ask them, if it's not too much trouble for us to ask, if you're willing to write a testimonial for us and tweet it and Facebook it, we will give you a free support call the next time you have a problem. You're giving them something, and they're doing something incredible for you, which is giving you a testimonial that you can then put on your website. And those are the kind of things that are invaluable. And going to where people have the problems, like Twitter, I think is going to really help. And so if people were to tweet I had an amazing experience with MacSupport.com. I give it my highest rating if you have a problem. And they tweet that. And you can get 20 people to tweet that every Friday. It's going to work at a certain point. And then what you need to do is try to get some press from people who are doing blogs about Mac and stuff like that. Another idea is people are online at the Genius Bar, and they're having problems at Genius Bar. That line is what, 7 days long? I mean, I've never been to the Genius Bar because every time I go, the goddamn thing is. I mean, you've been there, Tyler? Mm-hmm. Tyler's I have a couple of resident geniuses here. I have Tyler and Alex. They can solve anything on the Mac. But at the Mac store, what do you think the average wait time is for the so-called Genius Bar?
It's not that there's a wait time. They tell you, like, sorry, we're full today. You have to make a reservation.
It's ridiculous. Like, why do they even have it if they just want to frustrate people with come back tomorrow?
Yeah.
It's so understaffed. So what I would be doing is I would be going into the store or outside the store and say, here is a free ticket next time you have a Mac problem, and give them a little magnet to put on their refrigerator. And this magnet has a code on it, and you say, this is your one free chance. Boom. Congratulations on your Mac purchase. But I think you're onto something. I think you got to be creative with the offers, and you're going after consumers, which means you're going to have to really be.
We're advertising on Google and Facebook and other places.
Those things, that's not working so well, I take it.
No.
Yeah, that's not going to work. You need word of mouth.
We have low traffic.
Yeah, word of mouth is what's going to do it. What do you think?
I think, two things. I think you need to get some press releases out there too. I think a press release in the right area could be very helpful, and I think the fact that you're a U.S.-based support company is very, very important. Mm-hmm. One of the things that we have on our DNA mail is that we tell the people that we're U.S.-based. All our support people are U.S.-based, and you can't believe we put it right on our website.
Yeah.
That everybody is.
That is a big pain point for people.
It's a big, major pain point, and that's been very successful for us. And we compete in the same environment with AT&T and Verizon, and we compete at the same dollar level, but yet we win in that broadband space. Why? Simply because our support is so good, and it's all U.S.-based support.
I think that's
we definitely, we're right here in New York. We definitely pride ourselves on our support quality.
Flag.
Yeah, put an American flag up there and be like, hey, 100% of our people are in the United States. I'm not a xenophobe. I'm a big global citizen. Everybody knows I go travel around the world. But I have to tell you, there's nothing more annoying than an American having to call somebody in India to get support and have them read you the manual. You want to kill yourself. I mean, I have the manual in front of me. I can pull the PDF off the website. You're going to read me the PDF?
We don't want to read anything to anyone.
Oh, God.
But we actually have remote control software, so that's not an issue.
Yeah, I mean, that makes it even easier. I think the remote control software thing is also one of those things where I wonder if people would have a security concern about that and be nervous or not understand it. So did you guys do any like focus groups or listening labs? The term listening lab?
Not as far as I know.
Okay, so what a listening lab is, and Tyler and I have done these. We had a guy working with us here in the early days of Mahalo named Eric Stevens, who's now at Etsy. And if you need to get in touch with him, you can ask Tyler, and he'll put you in touch with a guy named Eric Stevens at Etsy. You know Etsy, right, in Brooklyn? ETSY?
Yes.
So you can just actually call him. You call Eric Stevens at Etsy. Call the switchboard and ask for him. He worked for me. He's a great guy. He did something called listening labs for me. What a listening lab is, you put somebody in front of the computer and you say, hey, go, and tell me what put them in front of a website and say, hey, pretend your friend showed you this, and take me through in your mind what you're thinking as you go use that site. And what the listening lab might do, it's pretty brutal to go through a listening lab because people are like, I don't understand your site. And it's like, it says right there, like, we provide Mac support over remote connections, and you just realize people don't read. And it's really hard to communicate, concepts with people. But anyway, listening labs and doing some focus groups would, I think, be helpful. Tyler, you have any insights?
There is an online listening lab solution that even some bigger companies have started using and you get the feedback right away. And I think they charge like $20 per user, which is what you're going to pretty much have to pay for a real user anyways. And the person on the other end, what they do is they kind of, go through and give you an idea. They video record it as well, so you can see where their mouse is and their whole take. There is something to be gained by doing it live, but by and large, you'll get most of the experience by doing this online one if you can find that one. I can't recall the name of it.
There's another good suggestion in the chat room over at Ustream with 400 people watching, and it's from Keller, double L, and they say blog about fixing Mac issues and publish free content and helpful videos.
We actually do have blog.macsupport.com.
Oh, great.
And we do blog and we tweet about our blog entries.
Yeah.
They're just short, quick tips, stuff they might find useful, stuff you might find on, I guess, some like OS X hints and things like that.
Yeah, I think that those are going to help you. And the Free Fridays is a great idea. So I think you've got to be a little bit patient and try a lot of things.
Funded. We're we have a few months left before we need to go look for loans, that kind of thing.
So you raised some angel money to get this?
We have not. No, it's just off of savings. Off of the.
And is it like 4 or 5 of you guys, like just answering the phone and giving support?
Pretty much. There's 4 of us right now, and we're all capable. We've all been doing support for quite a number of years, so we're all capable of answering the phones if necessary. But currently, our one lead technician, he's been handling it beautifully.
I wonder if there's an unlimited program that you could do on a monthly basis too. I see you have the 5 incidents at 119, but maybe you could do a unlimited with an asterisk, like reasonable unlimited. But small business Soho might also be another thing to look at, and also Geek Squad. I mean, study how Geek Squad does it. Maybe there's some things you can learn there.
Is the package, not the package, but the way we're marketing it with the incident, then they can redeem their incident for us fixing a problem. Is that, you think, do you have any thoughts on, I guess, the friction actually buying one of those and,
if it was,
getting people out?
I think if it said right there, fix a Mac problem for $30 and money back guarantee, I would feel a little bit better about it. I might actually try it. But I think you got to start talking to some customers and see. I mean, that's what the Listening Labs is about, is actually getting in there with your customers, because I can tell you what my intuition is. George can tell you, Tyler can tell you their intuition. They've been doing it for a while. But really, you have to take a scientific approach. And in science, there is testing, like multivariate testing we talked about, and then there is also naturalistic observation, if you remember your college days or your high school science class. And you got to do both. You got to do the naturalistic observation where you're watching people interact with your product and talking to them about it. But how long? It's been 3 weeks you've had it open?
About, yes.
All right. Now that we know that you have free support Fridays, and that's something that, as George was saying, a press release would be amazing. Right. First 50 callers on Fridays get free calls.
We've put out a press release. It got picked up here and there. Is there... is there anywhere in particular that we should be touting that around?
What I would do is actually on your homepage, I would put free support Fridays. First 50 calls are free. And then the people who are cheap and who don't trust the service or whatever, they're going to wait till Friday to try to solve their printer problem or their, install their memory problem. And then you're really marketing that. It's like, it's free support Fridays until we run, until we run out of food, kind of, you know what I'm saying? So I would keep going with that. I think that free support Fridays is the most brilliant idea. I think you could ride that.
An interesting idea that if he video records himself giving the advice and it works out well and he puts those on YouTube, that's really valuable.
Wait a second. Yeah. Even better. What if he does it on Ustream?
I can't really hear Tyler.
Tyler was saying what if you recorded those and put them on? Well, you need to have the person's permission.
Yeah.
But you could say free support Fridays on Ustream, and you actually do it on Ustream, where you're sitting there at a computer solving people's problems, and you say to them at the beginning of the call, in order to get free service, we're going to live webcast your support call. Do you mind?
That's a great idea.
That could be one of the most innovative marketing tools ever. You should get the account Free Support Fridays or Mac Support on Ustream. I'm sure 17 people just signed up for it. But I think Free Support Fridays on there would be incredible. And then it becomes like a talk show, too, because in between calls, you're doing other things like talking to the audience. That builds up. And actually, I bet you the audience would then start listening to the call and giving you suggestions on how to solve the problem. I mean, there might be a crowdsourcing your Mac problem that would be even a better solution, where they call you for $10 and you start using the chat room as a way to solve the problem. You know what I'm saying?
It would definitely require a larger audience than I think we currently have.
Right, but I think
today we're going to have a nice large audience, but
Hey, Rome wasn't built in a day. You know what I'm saying? You know how many visitors Engadget had on day one? 0.
No.
You know how many people we had on Mahalo day one? 0. That's where everybody starts. And that's your job, is to slowly build it, one little twig at a time, and build that fire up. But if you got people who are catalyzed and really love what you're doing, and you get that that free support Fridays going, I think it could become like very. It would get picked up by a lot of press.
Yeah,
It's only been 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Give it some time too.
Yeah, you sound like you get very frustrated. Are you easily frustrated?
No, not easily frustrated.
You sound a little down.
Forgive me, I'm nervous.
You're nervous? Is that okay?
Large crowd you gather.
Oh, don't worry, but don't be nervous. But I'm saying, is this your first time as an entrepreneur?
This is my first startup. I've had my own consulting company for a while. I've been going Wizard Computing. I've been going to people's homes and then small businesses and schools. And
Yeah, okay. Well, this is like your first entrepreneurial thing. And you have to be patient, and you have to bang your head against the wall, and you got to make 9 mistakes for every great innovation. And so what I hear in your voice a little bit is like, we tried that, we tried this. Sometimes you have to try it 5 times. Sometimes you got to knock on the door 5 times before somebody opens it. And the guy who's willing to knock 5 times is the guy who gets the door answered. You got to be resilient. And you got to try a lot of things, and you got to refine it and refine it and refine it. Mahalo has been a work in progress since we started it. Everybody made fun of it. Oh my God, it's not going to work. Not everybody, but some people thought it was brilliant. Some people didn't. And we just iterated and iterated and iterated. And that's what you've got to do. You got to iterate. Oh, your homepage isn't perfect? It's a 6 out of 10 in terms of design? No problem. That means you have.
You should have seen it a month ago.
Exactly. That's the exact right attitude.
Stay flexible.
Stay flexible is good advice.
These are all very good ideas. I'm very happy to hear them. My one worry is our funding we've only got a couple months left.
Yeah.
So
you don't need a lot of funding for this. I mean, listen, you could build this off revenues. Make this a lifestyle business. Make money from whatever your day job is, and slowly grow this until the point at which you have a model that shows it can scale, and maybe a model that shows that an investor would want to invest in it. Right now, the way you have this set up, it's not very attractive to investors because it's a service-based business. And service-based businesses have 2 lines.
That it is.
How cheap you can pay people, and then how much you can charge for them. And your entire life is trying to squeeze down the people who work for you and overcharge the people who are paying you. And it basically means your entire life is fighting with your staff and then fighting with your customers. That's a service-based business. That's why Jason's not in a service-based business. I would never be in a service-based business like that. When you're hiring bodies, it's one thing to have like a scalable service like DNA Mail or WebSpy where you're selling software as a service. That scales. You have 10 customers, 100 customers, 1,000 customers, 10,000 customers, 100,000 customers. It's essentially the same amount of work. You may have a bigger customer support line, you may have a bigger accounting department, but it scales nicely as opposed to, oh my God, I got a computer consultant coming in per hour. Then I got to say, this guy, you're only going to make $90 an hour. I got to bill you out at $270, and I live in between those 2 numbers. But anyway, you have a great domain name. How the hell did you get the domain name?
It was actually owned by a small Mac shop in Africa, and they owned it for a number of years. And then Tony, one of the founders from the Templeton Group, every year just asked him, are you doing anything with it? Are you using it? I'd like to buy it.
How much did he buy it for?
And I don't know, but I'm sure it was worth quite a bit.
Jesus Christ, that's the greatest domain name ever. MacSupport.com? So this is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, that's resiliency. I mean, year after year, banging on the door of some dude in Africa to get a great domain name, that's entrepreneurship. I love that.
Our 2 founders, Tony and Paul, they're absolutely wonderful to work with. They definitely have a good level head on their shoulders when it comes to this.
All right. Well, this is a great 20-minute Ask Jason. A lot of good ideas came out. George, great ideas. Tyler, great ideas. And a little more energy from you, okay? No more of this nervousness, okay? You're a gladiator.
No problem.
I'm giving you a prescription right now. You ready for your prescription?
What?
Go get the movie Gladiator on Blu-ray. And then watch the fight scenes and fast forward through all the other stuff every day for a week. That's your prescription.
All right. I would love to do that.
Watch the fight scenes every day for 1 week. That's what you have to do. You have to go kill people, cut their heads off, destroy them. Don't be nervous about it.
Thank you.
You're a gladiator.
And
Maximus.
on your baby.
All right. Be cool. Cheers.
You've been watching This Week in Startups. To watch the full episode, click here. To check out some other shows from This Week In, click here.